Hey there, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Last Minute Continue cast here on Last Minute Continue and on various listening websites that you probably downloaded this from for the month of March. Yeah, March. Yeah, I know. We're only 3 months into this hell of a year. Ain't it quite a hell of a year 2020 has been? Oh, it's fantastic.
It's eventful, certainly with that.
Oh, definitely. And I got an eventful motley crew here from the LMC here, of course, quite namely, to reminisce this month. And so far, this whole year, in fact, because it's quite been the year. We have Shadowfox, John, over here.
Hi. Still kicking.
We have Ian, the random genius.
Hello there.
And we have Josh, Urtheart.
Yarg.
And, yeah, thankfully these guys are here to join me for this month on this, shall we say, very kind of like isolative kind of like podcast, because we are in the midst of this social distancing / lockdown that is part of the COVID-19 pandemic that has been that actually started a wee while longer, but it's only gone into full-on pandemic proportions in the last, this month alone, this March.
Yeah, pretty much.
We're
almost just the last week even.
Well,
yeah,
it kind of started spreading across lower Europe at the start of the month, and I know.
But I mean, the whole lockdown situation has only pretty much come into effect over the course of the past week or so. It's pretty much been very rapid
for
fire.
us in this country, certainly.
Yes.
Yes.
Aye. For us in the UK, we're all UK bound here, and we've only just started our lockdown and whatnot.
Although I will say there was a lot of I was somewhat lucky to be travelling at the end of last month, beginning of this month, and they were really, really tight on checking people.
I do know that it's been quite tight on the kind of like traveling front. I've still got a friend of mine who is still, I believe they're still out of the country, and they're hopefully getting back into the country now, I think, by the time of this recording, or by the time this recording goes out, and hopefully they'll be safe back at home and whatnot. Because frankly, I fear for all those people who are UK residents who are still out of the country and have been completely clueless of what's been going on and whatnot, and if they ever try to get back home, they'll be dumbfounded by what's been happening and kind of like left stranded. I fear for all those people. So if you are listening to this and you have your fears and you have your doubts and whatnot, it's just a simple case of just stay safe, do the whole washing your hands thing, wash your hands for about what was it? What's the time frame?
20 to 30 seconds.
20 seconds. Every 20, just full 20 seconds of rubbing your hands.
Wash your hands every 20 seconds.
Yes, wash your hands every 20 seconds. That'll definitely.
I was gonna say. I mean, I kind of wash my hands like almost every time I go to the toilet or prepping food and whatnot. So I'm good.
Yeah.
Well, they
I'm
advise
always
it now,
clean.
even just like when you've been outside and get back into your house,
Oh,
immediately wash your
absolutely,
hands.
I had to do some shopping. We're out of milk, we're out of cheese, we're out of butter. We've got some bread stuff as well. And it's like, come in. I use a key fob to get into the house, so it was literally wash my hands first, make sure they're all clean, then washing the fob, and then washing my face as well, just to, after everything's been fully scrubbed, just to make sure that, because I wear glasses, so I have to wash my glasses as well. And of course the need to just adjust glasses during this time.
Yeah,
it's
really
annoying.
It's really annoying. So just a case of I need to push my glasses up because otherwise they're going to fall over. Elbow time.
Yeah. So.
Oh god, that.
So wash.
No.
So hands. So
Not your
hands,
elbow.
face, and everything. Anything that comes into contact.
I went one step ahead earlier today when I came back from the shops while being on the bike. I had like almost like 3 bags tied to my back of shopping and whatnot. Came back in, took a shower. It's like I went overboard on the whole thing. It's like just scrubbing my face and whatnot.
I would love to. Our trains bloody It's blocked right now, so it's like limited shower.
Oh dear.
I'm actually one of those people who I'm not quite being astringent, but that's because I, according to my doctor, may already be fairly immune. But to be fair, they have pointed out that actually this could become a bigger problem in where people have been sanitizing too heavily, and then it stops their immune systems working as efficiently. And so when people start trying to return to normality, it can actually cause more problems. So yes, definitely wash your hands. That's just good habit. There is a point where maybe you start. It's more for people that like using hand sanitizer every 20 minutes and.
Well, the sanitizer doesn't do anything anyway.
No, because it's a viral infection. It's not bacteria, so it helps, but it's not the be all or end all.
The virus is contained in a fatty cell around it, which dissolves when applied to soap. So so all those people who are stealing hand sanitizer, you're doing nothing to yourself. You're just
the heavy alcohol-based ones do a little bit better. I can't use those because reasons.
Irritation.
Worse than irritation. But anyway, that's not the point of LMC Cast. The point is, be safe. We want you to listen to next month's episode as well.
Indeed.
Oh yeah, aye, because there's plenty going on in the next few months in all the sorts of the media. Because frankly, this month alone was chock full of media, kind of like digestive, kind of like things. Basically, this month alone, I watched more Netflix than I had last month. I feel anyway. And even in the gaming front, it was quite inundated with releases that were, very heavy, kind of like wanting to be played. I've lost words. I don't know how to do words here.
I did really actually look up what games came out in the last month.
But regardless, let's get started with what we've been watching. What have we been seeing in the month of March? For myself, like I said, I've been watching a lot of Netflix, and there was actually a couple of series that have been up on Netflix that either have come out with new seasons or brand new to the service or what have you. And a couple of that I've wanted to point out here. I don't know if any of you guys have seen any of them. Castlevania had its new season up, season 3, with season 4 is actually gonna be coming out fairly soon afterwards.
I saw a tweet about that, about how season 4 is already in production. I don't know how far through it is.
That's interesting. I must admit, I'm about a quarter of the way through season 3 at the minute.
I've not touched season 3 yet. I did watch the first 2 seasons though, so.
I have not watched any of it as I don't have Netflix.
Yay!
That's fine.
Other streaming services are available, which we'll get to later.
I'm sure we will, yes.
But yeah, I mean, season 3, I've watched the whole thing and whatnot, and it is, to less of a better word, it is a filler kind of like season, I believe, because it's trying to establish a new story arc for all the characters that, essentially survived the second season, essentially. And it's trying to, obviously, build up those characters again with their own arcs and whatnot. There was like five different stories in this season. You had what was it?
So
Alucard. Alucard at Dracula's castle and whatnot, and staying there at the end of season 2. You had Belmont and Cypher going on their new journey, essentially. You had what's his face, who got trapped in the desert.
Is it Isaac?
Isaac, yes. And then you had the other half of that duo, who got kind of like taken by the vampire sisters.
Yeah, it was Camilla, wasn't it?
Were they the blacksmiths?
Yes, they were the Demon Forgers.
The Demon Forgers, that was it. I can remember the exact term they used.
Mm-hmm. And pretty much it was like those kind of like 4 arcs intertwined with also new characters as well. That try to have some kind of like semblance of kind of like of some kind of like big crescendo kind of like ending to the end of the season. However, it is what it is. It is a filler arc. It's trying to give all these characters from season 2 a new kind of like progression going into the next season, and that's how they've just announced season 4 is that's got to continue on. So you can say season 4 is season 3 part 2 to a certain degree. I think that's how the case.
So how many episodes was season 3?
I think it was 12.
That's a lot, actually.
Yeah, that's actually a few.
Considering that season 1 was 4 and season 2 was 8.
I might be wrong. It's like it could be 8 again.
Let's have a look this up.
But no, I mean, granted, I binged the whole thing, so going through it, and
it is a very well made series.
And I won't spoil the rest of the season for you, Ian. But the last 2 or 3 episodes, my God, they are intense.
10 episodes.
10 episodes.
Yeah.
10 episodes. Okay, so that's not good.
So yeah, those last couple of episodes, those are really intense to go through. Like so much is going on for it. It's like a whole mixture, and it's correlating with all the storylines that was being built up through those episodes. So, but no, I would still say check it out and get yourself ready for season 4 whenever that comes.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly an interesting way of doing it, because the end of season 2, if you don't know what Castlevania is, basically heroes defeat Dracula. That's the entire thing.
That's essentially it.
I think it was. I'm trying to remember. I think at the end of the first game, they even had like the credits were a parody of it. Bram's
basically
Dracula.
The first one, basically all the credits were parodies of famous horror movie actors. So it's reference to.
Think of Castlevania as a more sort of actiony Dracula story.
That isn't the BBC's Dracula from New Year's. But yes, the weird thing, the sort of thing that surprised me the most was the fact that they were carrying on with Trevor and Cypher. Because, for those that know, Series 1 and Series 2 of Castlevania are loosely based on the game Castlevania 3 Dracula's Curse.
Yeah, that's correct.
So, effectively, when Dracula's defeated, that's the end of the game. Where do we go from there? And logically, you would assume that you'd go into another part of the game series. So you may jump into, say, Simon Belmont, which is the first 2 Castlevania games, or you might go to Richter, which is Rondo of Blood, onwards. Or
Castlevania is a generational story of vampire hunters. It's not the same people.
So
so
the fact that
I would think that because what was it? I believe in the games 3 is a prequel to 1 and 2.
Indeed, it is. Yes.
So I would think that they would continue on eventually, because that's the thing with some of these adaptations. They want to adapt the games, and then after they've adapted the original source material, they want to take it in another direction afterwards. And you see that with anime, which, by the way, we'll get to an anime soon enough in this podcast. They'll deviate from the original source material with, other storylines. Best example for me personally is Dragon Ball Z, because in Dragon Ball Z, the filler arc between the Namek saga, the Frieza saga and the Cell saga, which was the Garlic Jr. saga, that was something to kind of like fill up time and whatnot between those kind of major arcs. And that's essentially got to be the same with Castlevania, for these coming arcs. Although with this case, they're gonna try to flesh it out a little bit more and actually build upon what what's happened in the seasons and just work as, an animation show rather than being, fully kind of like tied to the games in some way. So if for those people out there who are waiting for a Castlevania Symphony of the Night adaptation in this series, don't hold your breath.
Unless it runs on for like 14 odd seasons, then you might start to see some of the other games come into it.
Well, none of the games are particularly in chronological order per se. Like Turbo said, the third one is a prequel to the first two, and a lot of the later entries jump about the history, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah.
I'm sure out there you can find a timeline.
There is a definitive timeline of how everything fits together, because I've seen it, and it's just ridiculous. It's just
it can't be any worse than the Zelda timeline.
No,
true.
Even...
Nothing's as complicated as the Zelda timeline.
No.
But personally, from a selfish point of view, I would love them to try and do an adaptation of Aria of Sorrow and Dawn of Sorrow in this, because I think that would work really well. But that's just me from a selfish point of view of being a fan of Castlevania games.
Well, obviously, if you're back again next month, we'll get your final thoughts on the series for that.
True.
But speaking of getting your final thoughts on things, last month, obviously, I was talking about the Sonic movie and whatnot. Ian, you watched it, I believe.
Yes, I did actually get around to watching it, and yes, due to...
So what was your final thoughts on that?
My final thoughts, it's fine. It's not outstanding, it's not sort of the best thing ever, but similarly, it's a good family movie. It's solid, it's got good set pieces, the beats are hit at the right places. Ben Schwartz, is that his name?
The voice actor of Sonic?
Yeah, Sonic's VA.
Yeah.
He does a really good job of bringing a new dimension to the same character that we know from so many other VAs in the past. Ryan Drummond, Roger Craig Smith, Jaleel White, all those people. And it's nice to sort of hear a refreshing take of it rather than just sort of being, oh, this is a mimic of X or a mimic of Y. Similar props, again, go to Jim Carrey for, again, another interpretation of Eggman, just like Robotnik, that, again, seems unique. I mean, I've yet to actually find an interpretation of Robotnik that has not been good. I mean, you've got the game versions, Dean Bristow and Mike Pollock. You have the animated versions, Long John Broadley and Jim Cummings.
Heck, even the English dub of the Sonic the Hedgehog OVA is a really good Eggman in that one.
Eggman is a character who he follows the simple rules of villainry.
Mm-hmm.
So
interestingly, I did chat about this with someone at work, and they came when they were talking about it. They said it's weird that they got someone who's like Jim Carrey to play Eggman, and they're like, no, he is Jim Carrey, and it's like, but he didn't act like Jim Carrey. What's your thoughts on that one?
I go by the trailers. It seems like he's the most Jim Carrey he's ever been.
Yeah, I don't know who they were looking at when watching the film.
I think they were expecting him to go much more off the wall.
Yeah,
I was gonna say you can't expect him to be what he was like 20 years ago.
No,
because he was a lot younger back then. He's now in his 50s.
But I think the way he did it actually made sense in terms of the way of the plot of the movie, was the fact that we all know Robotnik, Eggman, as this big bombastic figure, and yeah, he in the movie he's portrayed as very different, very sort of cold, calculating, slightly eccentric, but then that slowly evolves as time goes on. But
so it's kind of like you're seeing like one of the old animated shows turning into Sonic Boom or something.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a fine movie. Personally, it's not the best video game movie adaptation I've seen. It's certainly not the worst. It's fine as a movie by itself. I did feel as though it dragged on a little bit. There were some bits that didn't quite work as I'd expected, but there was a lot of nice nods to the Sonic community as well. So I mean, the Sonic games, that's what I meant. But the fact that they also had nice little in-jokes, such as in jokes, but in references such as hyper potions, It was nice to hear a little bit of that in the intro of the film.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's perfectly serviceable. It's a perfectly fine film. Um,
You kind of average summer kind of
yeah,
filler
your
or holiday filler.
your typical thing, but with a bit more heart to it. I have to say the end credit scene did maybe go, how did they manage to get was a case of how did they manage to get that, and that was perfect perfect setup. I'm not going to spoil it in case people haven't seen it, but yeah, it's a case of
I think I've had that part spoiled for me, definitely.
Well, it's kind of difficult to try to not get spoiled now after like a month.
Oh god,
of it
yeah.
being
Yeah,
I'm not that bothered. It was. I will say that I did watch a very nice interview with Jim Carrey on how he wanted to portray Eggman, and actually his memories of, I think when his kids played the original Sonic, and him watching playing it and stuff. So it's obviously something that he actually has some respect for as well.
right. Well, with that, yeah. So with all that, let's go back to what happened this month. This month, another series on Netflix I want to talk about. Now, we all know a guy from our Summer Sonic. Well, both Sonic community and Summer Sonic days. Being out of Elson Wong.
Oh yes.
Everyone remember him?
oh yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, if you follow Elson on Twitter, you'll obviously be seeing him tweeting about this show constantly, like forever and a day, is essentially going on about this show. And obviously, some people would go, "Oh, can't he just stop talking about this and whatnot? It's just getting on the nerves and whatnot." Let's just say he's got a reason to be talking so highly about this one show, this one franchise. I'm gonna call it a franchise because I feel as though it can make some kind of like big name for itself down the line. Where it's essentially, what if the human world, what if the human race wasn't there and it was all replaced by animals? And yeah, it's this new series. It finally just got its official English dub release on Netflix, called Beastars, and I'll definitely say the show is a very good show. And I did have my dismays at first because of its art style, because I've watched anime. Because this isn't done by an anime studio and whatnot. However, it's primarily 3D CG. And 3D CG anime tends to be very most of the time. See the most recent Berserk series that's on various streaming sites. I think it's on Crunchyroll, I think.
If it's anime and it's streaming, the general rule is it's probably on Crunchyroll somewhere.
But yeah, normally it's Crunchyroll or Funimation and whatnot, but this time this one has been available on Netflix and got exclusive streaming on Netflix. And yeah, the 3D animation was obviously the main deterrent from myself. But then looking at it closely and then comparing it to something like Berserk and whatnot, where Berserk is obviously something completely different, like in terms of context and style and whatnot. Beastars actually makes it better looking, the style of 3D anime and whatnot. Not to say that it just is solely 3D anime. It does try to be creative in certain aspects, and more so, it becomes creative with its intro of all things. Because I don't know if anyone's seen the intro for the series.
Not yet,
at all.
no.
No, I think the whole series is on my to watch list, so
Yeah,
and I've
ditto
not actually
here.
touched it yet.
But everyone, you kind of think of your typical anime intro. It's like full on large cuts, like speed lines, kind of like happy-go-lucky kind of like music and whatnot and whatever. But this time around, the anime opening for this series is claymation.
Really?
Oh.
And now I'm suddenly interested.
Yeah. So it's like I say claymation. It's like stop motion, kind of like. So it's like obviously the character models and whatnot are all kind of like furry, kind of like stop motion toy, kind of like, and they're proper kind of like moving, kind of like parts. It's like an Aardman kind of like production almost.
I now
It's just
have this
it's
image.
just done by a Japanese studio.
I now have this image of the intro of Beastars, but instead of the animals, it's just Wallace.
Gromit.
It's Wallace and Gromit dancing, because that's what happens. Eventually, it starts off moody and dark and whatnot, and it's the wolf character Lugosi, kind of like stalking the rabbit character Haru, I believe her name is, and it's very and it's very stylistic and dark and whatnot, and then it brightens up, and then suddenly they do a little dance number around a fountain, and then it gets dark again. It is just, if you want to go and just see that opening animation for Beastars, by all means crack on. It's one of the best anime openings I've seen, because it tries to be something different by using a different animation style that is pretty much no longer being used that often, other than by Studio Aardman.
It's sadly more expensive than doing a lot of other stuff.
It is expensive. It is expensive. It's time consuming and whatnot. But if you just use it sparingly and have it in a creative way at one point during any project like that, it goes a fair bit,
A lot of those techniques are still actually used in the initial setup. A lot of animation studios still use 3D plasticine or clay models as the base for what they then scan in and then manipulate on the computer. So,
because you've seen that in the gaming industry a heck of a lot yourself.
Not as much in the games industry. It's mostly animation more than the games industry, because with the games industry there tends to be, you have to have a lot more control over the moving parts. Certainly some do, but it's not as common. Interestingly, I do actually vaguely know this series, but not via the anime. I know it via the manga, which I got the first book, I think, for free from like a blind bag from like an MCM Comic Con thing.
That's cool.
Wow.
That's nice.
What back then?
I thought I'd look up how old the manga is, and actually it's not that old. It's only 2016.
That's pretty.
Yeah,
recent.
well, granted, most of these anime adaptations are adapted quite quickly. Like it's completely given the green light, depending on its kind of like audience in the manga industry and whatnot. 9 times out of 10, they do tend to get an anime adaptation quite quickly.
I guess you got to strike while the iron's hot, and I imagine in the style of like the 3D like model posing that way is a little bit easier than getting a whole lot of 2D drawn, or at least for speed.
Well, you say that, but in this series, there's 3D animation, there's 2D animation, and then there's even very creative 2D animation. There's this one dream sequence with Haru, where she's kind of like going through a, like everything's kind of like underwater, kind of like style, and the effects for the water and whatnot is very creative and very fluid and whatnot. So it has so many different styles in its animation. Well, I just find it to be mesmerizing at times. The character and the kind of like story arc for this season, because apparently there will be a season 2, doesn't revolve around what happens in the first episode. Essentially, it is just setting up the characters and it's basically relationships with animals, essentially, because Lugosu, who is this wolf at this school, is part of the drama team, and he's part of the kind of like ring crew. I say ring crew, and it sounds like he's in a wrestling ring. No, he's kind of like the light crew and whatnot, so like stage hands.
Oh yeah, techie.
Yeah, and he suddenly after an altercation with his kind of like primal instincts with a white rabbit named Haru, where he almost attacks and kills her based on his instincts, but eventually he's able to control his instincts and whatnot, and tries to befriend her, and it's the awkward kind of like I wouldn't say the won't they kind of like mentality. No, it's more of a case of like Lugosi trying to understand, because he's like, what is he? He's like 17, so he's at that age where he's like, he's questioning what's this feeling that I'm seeing inside and whatnot, and it's basically that kind of like storyline for the whole series, and it has a little moments of like tension for there's the in this world of animals and whatnot, you got the herbivores and the carnivores being segregated and whatnot, and it's that kind of like the typical kind of like storyline that you've seen in various other animations and stuff like that, where it's like
I'm thinking Zootopia.
Yeah.
Yes, I think
I'm thinking the same thing as
Zootopia.
well.
Yeah, that's a perfect example. I was gonna go with X-Men, but with the mutant stuff and whatnot. But no, Zootopia is definitely the perfect example. It's just it's a lot more adult. This is the adult version of Zootopia, because it is more violent and primal, essentially, with its kind of like material, and it works. It did work, and they had the right they had a interesting animation team working on it. So yeah, I say give it a shot. I mean, Elson kept on banging on about it, and it's like I thought I'd give it a shot when it gets officially released, and by God, I actually did enjoy it.
So they're still technically producing the manga, as well as obviously the TV show. So we'll see how far it goes. There are 17 volumes of the manga so far.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't.
I'm sure they'll obviously keep going.
I know that certain series are still going to this day, both with the anime and with the manga.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's my fault. Obviously none of you guys have seen it, but I would definitely at least if you can't watch the official stuff, Elson Wong put out 2 episodes of a fan dub up online, and of course you can't find them via like streaming services. There's like a Google Doc of the 2 episodes that he's linked on his Twitter. So if you go onto his Twitter, and you can check him out. And granted, comparing that to the official one, really, in all honesty, the official one has its strength in it. Mainly, more so with who they casted as Haru in the anime, with what was it? The same voice actress as Kari from Digimon.
Oh, yeah, I had mention of that.
Yeah. So, and I was like, by God, she hasn't changed at all. It's like, like 20 years on, and she still has that, kind of like cadence in her voice. But she makes her sound, she obviously is sounding older and whatnot, and more mature and whatnot. So, but no, I would say if you can't watch the official kind of like version on Netflix, at least check out the 2 fan dubs of the first 2 episodes done by Elson and his team of amateur voice actors and whatnot. It's worth a shot.
I at least want to go see the intro now. So
yeah, definitely see that intro. So I there has been so much that I talked about for Netflix and whatnot. I'm gonna talk about one last quick show before we hand it over to everyone else and whatnot. There is another show that was on Netflix that's only about 9 episodes long. It was originally going to be a Nickelodeon show, but for some bizarre reason, it hasn't. I don't think it's even been shown on Nickelodeon at all in any case whatsoever. Just with Like the problem with Nickelodeon is that if it's not SpongeBob, it's worth jack. So
Or turtles.
or turtles, yeah. So with this show here called Glitch Tex, it was interesting because it is one of those video game. It's one of those video game reference shows that obviously doesn't take any pre-existing kind of like video game material and whatnot. They just create their own or to create like spin-offs of that material and work around a story where when a glitch happens in a game, they become kind of like part of reality. So it's now up to these kind of like computer game Ghostbusters, taking care of these glitches and then righting the wrongs, and then, or actually better yet, they're like the video game version of Men in Black, because they also like have to wipe the memories of the people who've witnessed these glitches run havoc and whatnot. But no, it's actually quite a fun series. There are moments that are kind of annoying where you get like the typical, you know, referential video game stuff that references the in now kind of like video game stuff. So obviously you gotta have a couple of Fortnite things in there, obviously for the kiddies.
Pay to win.
And, well, it's not that. It's more of a case of like
It's
you know,
kind of like
celebratory kind of like stuff.
It's kind of like sort of us sort of going, yes, your princess is in another castle, hey.
Yeah, it's like that essentially. But other than that, it's charming. It's fun. It's something good. And I just saw a tweet not too long ago where someone actually recommended the show for people who just got disappointed off the finale of Steven Universe just happening just now. So, and I would say, yeah, it's a good replacement, or it's a good show to kind of like, you know, give a shot if you've been upset with the ending of Steven Universe.
I didn't think it was that bad.
Yeah.
I mean, I can actually talk about that one.
By all means, the floor is yours because I'm done with my stuff.
Well, fair enough. Well, Steven Universe that finished literally last night, I believe. They did the last. I think they did the last four episodes, but I think the first of the 4 episodes was released like 2 days ago, or leaked 2 days ago, or something. But no, as I like, obviously Steven Universe, the original show. I don't know exactly how many seasons it went on for exactly. I can't remember how many episodes it was per season, but they had all that. They had the movie, and it all kind of closed off pretty much most of the things rather well. And but it got something that I actually would like to see more shows kind of do, in that kind of like getting like an epilogue season, like the unanswered questions, the kind of what happens next, the kind of, you know, what does the hero do once they've saved the day?
Well, I've had that with a couple of anime actually, myself. Like one, it's not an action anime, but it's like a slice of life kind of like sort of kind of like romance kind of like anime called Clanad, and then after the initial run of Clanad episodes were done, they did a follow-up series called Clanad After Story, which it pretty much takes place right after what happened at the end of the first series. So, you know, so you get that sometimes as well. But no, it's there needs to be, if there's like anime or a television series that has an ongoing story and has then this big epic kind of like crescendo of an ending to that story, there should be like, you know, there's always the opportunity of having a what happens after the end, you know.
Yeah, like what do they continue to do? And I mean, it pretty much, like, so Steven Universe Future is pretty much a lot of that. It's like, well, what about all those old villains that kind of we never saw again? What about this? How did the people he saved, did they actually keep to their word and follow up? And of course, you know, it's a kid's show. Yes, they did. Everyone's kind of, a couple of villains sort of came back and But it's like well, one thing he didn't necessarily say, but yes, it was all kind of like it's all that, and then of course, but it's all kind of like to do with like Stephen, like he's been this goody two shoes helper person. Like, well, what does he do when there's no one to help, and he has to actually look in at himself and see what does he want to do, and he of course it's his like it's his finding himself story. It's like, well, what do I want to do? Because I spent my entire life helping people, and people don't need my help anymore. And I'm also like evolving with my powers, and it's basically like him struggling with the powers that he's got and avoiding hurting people because he's actually. It's to do with just his mental. It's to do with his mental health as well. And it's like, and you find out like all the stuff that happens to him, like all the goofy things that happen to him. Like in the first season, that you think like, oh, that's just cartoon logic. Of course, he gets squashed by this, and like he smacks his head and he's fine. And it's like, well, actually, no, that was all happening. He was breaking his bones and they were repairing. He's gone through a lot of like trauma, this guy. And it's like, well, how do you deal with that? And it's it's all kind of like family and friendly. Like rely on your friends, rely on your family, talk to people, don't hold it in. But it's like as an ending went, it was good. It does tie it all up in a bow. It's it's like that he's done with this story. He's moving on to the next part of his life, and whatever happens in that, we don't know. But I'm sure that it'll be good and all that. It's a mostly satisfying ending. There are still some unanswered questions, as there usually are with these kind of things, like what was in that box in episode 75 that was hinted at but never actually.
The answer, it was Steven's lunch.
Could very possibly be.
It's sounding like WWE's booking decision sometimes.
But yeah, I mean, it's nice and short. Like I say, it's only 10 episodes, and it's like the American 11-minute episodes. So you've got like it's short, and quick to go through, but it does round it all up quite nicely. So yeah, that was one of the things I ended up watching. What's the other one? I also finished. I was like, speaking of interesting things like that, and on a different streaming service, this one, Channel 4.
Ah.
So at least in the UK, Channel 4 has the rights for streaming all of the Adult Swim content. So, and it's also for free, as long as you don't mind the adverts.
And you have a TV license.
Yes.
You actually don't need a TV license for Channel 4. I looked at it. No. If you're watching it live, yes, you do. But if you're watching their streaming services, I actually checked to see if it was allowed. If you're in the UK and you don't have a license, you can watch the Channel 4 library.
The TV licensing doesn't agree with you there. I'll tell you that now.
BBC, you definitely can't.
No.
BBC, you do need a license. Channel 4 is a little. I don't know. I think they run adverts.
Yes.
For everything as well.
Yeah,
so.
but I think Channel 4 is also partly public funded as well. But I don't think this is the time nor the place to get into TV licensing politics.
What I would say is I read through their terms and conditions of watching, and everything's legal. It's fine.
Anyway, what's the adult swim you've been watching?
It's Venture Brothers, which is it's been going on for a while. They kind of come out with a new season every couple of years.
I remember Venture Brothers about 10 years ago.
Yeah, so they did season 7 a year ago, and season 8 is in the works. Maybe this year, maybe next year it comes out. But again, it's sort of the idea of the story is so all those kid shows you used to watch with like the boy adventurers.
Yeah, like Johnny Quest.
Johnny Quest, exactly. What happens when that person grows up? Can they function in the real world? The answer is generally no. They cannot function in the real world. They become bitter or jaded. And if you can see the show how it starts off with kind of like this kind of thing going on. You follow Rusty Venture, who is now known as Dr. Venture. He was a boy adventurer, and his dad was a super scientist, and now he's grown up and is basically a terrible super scientist and a terrible dad because he's doing all the same things that his dad did to his dad did to him and to his children. and he's just a barely functional like human being. He's selfish. He's vain. He's all these kind of things. But then as the show, but there's the whole balance of like good. It's a balance of good and evil. So you got the Guild of Calamitous Intent, and you've got the Office of Secret Intelligence. It's basically like MI6 and Spectre from James Bond. You kind of, but in a cartoony style. It's just people who live the lifestyle of a supervillain, and they keep kind of balance to the world or balance to all these things. And as time goes on, it kind of evolves into more as like, well, what's been happening with the families and the guild and all this? How did it all begin? And you've got all these organizations. It's watching these characters evolve and watching them kind of break free of the molds and all these things. Like, I'm trying to think of how I can like explain it all properly, but it's a bit of a there's a lot that goes on.
It's kind of like, so basically what you're saying is that this is kind of like Steven Universe Future, but when it goes wrong.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So if Steven's a good guy and he grows up, but he becomes a bit jaded, and all the other gems form a secret evil alliance. It's like there's a lot of like superhero, like there's a lot of Marvel influence, a lot of Justice League influence, and all these other Watchmen influences. You will see them all there. It's all great as a laugh, but yeah, it's also very much like character driven and the relationships they have. And it's coming out. I think new season coming out end of this year, beginning of next, hopefully. Yeah, definitely something to check out along with all the other Adult Swim stuff that's on there. Like Primal's on there. I haven't watched that yet, but that's going to be on my watch list.
Well, I do know the fact that when I last checked, Samurai Jack was on the All 4 service.
Yeah, there's quite a few adverts for that when I was in Boston, actually.
Yeah, because again, that's an Adult Swim thing as well now.
Oh, true. I mean, I have the entire series on Blu-ray myself, because I'm a big fan of Samurai Jack and whatnot. And there's actually gonna be a new game of that coming out soon.
Oh, actually, that might be what was advertised with the game.
Yeah, aye. So, but no, is that yourself, John? Is that all you've been seeing?
The last thing I watched is Picard. I don't know if anyone else here watched Picard.
That's on my to-watch list. I was a huge fan of Next Generation when I was young, so I'm kind of interested to see what they do with that. But
okay, that's good.
Yeah, it's on my to-watch.
I was kind of on and off with Star Trek. Really, in all honesty, I'm not like a full Trekkie. But
I'll say I'm one of the people who's not necessarily. I wouldn't say I'm qualified to properly review Picard. Like I watched a fair bit of the original series. I've watched all of the Next Generation at least once. I've dabbled in Enterprise and Voyager and Deep Space Nine, but I wouldn't call myself a Trekkie in any sense of the word. And as a non-Trekkie but still Star Trek enjoyer, I would definitely say that there is some enjoyment to be had here, but there's also a lot of things that are wrong and I would say unfaithful to the original series. And if you want to talk about like final episodes that are a bit like
yes, I've actually seen quite a few tweets about that today.
Yes. It's one of those ones where it's like, oh, you can see what's going to happen here. Oh, it's happened. Oh, we're meant to be sad. Oh, we're meant to be sad, of course. Yes. Oh, look at that. Everything, whatever. You'll see it coming a mile away.
It doesn't have the nuance, basically. It's sort of more of a sledgehammer approach.
A bit, yeah. We might see if we can get I don't know, say Phil or Pete in here, because I know Pete's been watching it, Phil's watching it, and Phil is a big...
I mean, Phil probably is the qualified Trekkie.
Yes.
I would say, yeah, Phil is the qualified Trekkie, so I'm happy to talk about it again, but I would have to defer to Phil for most of the review. Yeah, so that was on Amazon Prime, so that's another streaming service.
Yay!
Anything else you guys have seen at all?
Well, I want to talk about another streaming service. Yay! Disney Plus, because that actually launched this month over here in the UK.
It
Oh yeah,
did.
of course.
And for cheap or something, didn't it?
Yeah, basically, if you signed up before it was officially released, you got an entire year's subscription for, I think it was £60, and then it went up to
But it was originally £60, but it's 50 quid. It was 50 quid for pre-sign up.
Oh yeah, sorry, that's what I mean. 50 to 60, sorry, not 60 to 70. But
Yeah, I'm thinking about getting that, but I think with Amazon Prime and Netflix, it's like, do I need a third? But Disney Plus would be the kind of one. It's got the variety.
Yeah,
it's got the
so
catalogue.
I sort of subscribed to it because it was basically a case of, oh, this seems like there's a lot of things here, and there's there's a bunch of Disney back catalogue movies I've not seen, so this seems like the perfect thing to do, particularly given the certain circumstances that's happening at this moment in time. And it was just a case of, oh, cool. So you've got the big marquee stuff. Obviously, you've got The Mandalorian, you've got The Simpsons, you've got the Disney and Pixar back catalogue. So I was just looking through and going, okay, that makes sense. Oh, they actually have the new series of DuckTales on here, as in the reboot, as well as the original 1990s
David
one.
Tennant.
Yeah, with the one with Dave Tennant. And yeah, anything with David Tennant in, I would sort of just go, yeah, I'd give it a shot. And yeah, it's a 2017 DuckTales series onwards. It's a really good kids show. It's actually a really good show, full stop. The voice actors are all pretty true to their roles. Something that I didn't realise, Ben Schwartz makes a return to this podcast because he actually voices one of the triplets, Dewey.
Yep, I think it's Huey. Is either Huey or Louie?
I think it's Dewey actually, because I think it's
Is it Dewey? All right.
Basically
It was one of them.
Basically the blue duck.
One of the three.
So the blue duck is also the voice for the blue hedgehog. Coincidence?
I mean, I would say yes, but
Yeah. Conspiracies in animation. It's commonplace nowadays.
True. But no, it's a really solid animation. They actually managed to expand on the whole sort of Clan McDuck mythos and such, and as well as paying homage to a whole bunch of other references, not only the original cartoon series, but also Life and Times of Scrooge McDuck, which was the original comic that was released that basically inspired the original TV series. So there was nods to that as well. And yeah, it's something I would sort of recommend that you enjoy if you just like general comedy adventure shows. But yeah, there's
on top of all the kind of like Disney Pixar movies that I haven't yet seen, like I haven't seen Coco and whatnot. You now have probably sold me Disney Plus now.
Yeah. So yes, not only that, but also all of the 90s stuff that you remember. So they have Recess on there.
Oh, wow. That's
Quite possibly one of the best TV shows from way back was just basically Saturday morning on CITV. It was Recess, and that was
I remember Recess.
that was the big thing when I was young.
Yep.
But yeah, you've got all the other things: Chip and Dale, Rescue Rangers. You've got more of the modern stuff as well: Phineas and Ferb.
Do they have the Muppet Show?
They don't have the Muppet Show, but they have the Muppet movies.
No, I'm not impressed. Need the Muppet Show.
Well, I have to be honest, I haven't checked to see if the Muppet Show is there, but they do have the movies.
I was gonna say, if they've got a Christmas like a Muppet Christmas Carol on there, you're sold. Come on, everyone loves the Muppets Christmas
And
Carol.
Muppet Treasure Island. I mean, it's got Tim Curry in it. Anything with Tim Curry in it is worth a laugh. So yeah, no, that's if you like your animation, if you like something a bit more sort of family friendly rather than the sort of the stuff on Netflix, Amazon Prime. Disney Plus is certainly something to look into, particularly if you just want that nostalgia hit of the shows from yesteryear. Yeah, that's the main thing. Also, technically something I've been watching for a while back, but something that may interest you people on yet another streaming service, because I think this is the topic of this podcast.
I'm sure Kevin's got a really good one. For the show's title this month.
That's on the UK TV Player, which is basically an amalgamation of a whole bunch of a whole bunch of channels under the UK TV banner, which is a series of channels on the UK which covers stuff like Dave, Alibi, Home, really the kind of general stuff. So, oh, here's the Home Improvement channel, here's the Comedy channel, here's the Lifestyle channel, that kind of thing. One that sort of has definitely sort of taken popularity recently has been Taskmaster, which, as a game show aficionado, really sort of zones into that. So, if you don't know, Taskmaster has been going for the past couple of years, and it's effectively 5 comedians get given a task to do. Or, sorry, a series of tasks each episode. So, they could range from the mundane, such as, take this £5 note from under this full pint glass without spilling any water. And they have to go away, and they have to go do that, and fast person who does it wins the task. To ridiculously complicated and elaborate things, such as a choose your own adventure done in the form of separate tasks. So you could choose to do task A or task B, and then that would splinter into different subtasks and everything else. And basically, the person who solves the final task first wins. And basically, it's a really good panel show where it's just a case of, here are 5 completely different people, let's see how they tackle this very simple task. And it's ridiculous how some of their minds go. Some of them go for the straight literal interpretation, some of them go think outside the box, and some of them just do stuff that are absolutely ridiculous that you just can't help but laugh out loud at how they managed to try and do something. I think a prime example was that one series they had Mel Gedroic, who used to do the Great British Bake Off, which is one of the big shows in the UK at the minute. Basically, her first task was destroy a cake. Best destruction wins. She just looked at it, hit it, turned it over, smushed it, and went done. And this was just after she had announced that she had left the Bake Off.
Probably quite cathartic for her then.
Quite,
Yeah.
yes. The irony was that on that series she was with Noel Fielding.
Oh, who is the new host of? I do like him.
Yes. But yeah, if you have access to the UK TV streaming service, or you have access to the Dave channel on TV, go look up Taskmaster. It's fantastic. I believe it's actually going to get migrated over to Channel 4 at some point. But yeah.
So I was like, whenever I was like visiting my mum's and like flicking through the Freeview channels, I did sometimes see Taskmaster, but it never quite took my fancy at the time. I didn't know what it was, but
yeah,
I'll have to
it's effectively
keep my eye on it next time.
It's effectively just sort of do a task, best interpretation of the task wins, and it can always be sort of done to the whim of the host, which is Greg Davis, comedian and best known for being that tall teacher from The Inbetweeners. So yeah, well worth seeking if you enjoy your panel shows, your comedy shows, your game shows with a bit of an anarchic twist.
I'll just stick with challenge, really.
Fair dues.
Old school reruns of Nightmare is all good for me.
Takeshi's Castle all the way.
Robot Wars. They have Robot Wars on there.
Fair enough. Anyway, I think we should move on to what we did in the world of gaming, I think. And who better to start this off with our resident gamer who was off last month, being at a certain event, just on the cusp before everything went to hell and everything shut down and whatnot.
Much.
Good time.
Yeah, so he was lucky enough to be at this event, being out of PAX East. It was.
Yep. I should point out at this point that I was working there, so I didn't get masses of time to play games, but there was a few I managed to get a hold of, which, excuse me, there were certainly some interesting ones. I pretty much stuck to the smaller indie devs, and mostly the ones I could get on that didn't have much of a queue, or basically that were available for me to play. So one of the first ones I got to try, and I'm having to look up the name of this because it's just come on Steam as well. I think it's pronounced Gestalt Steam and Cinder. So it's a 2D platforming hack and slash game. Metroidvania, I'm sure people will compare it to, but it's got a really beautiful animation and art style to it. It's basically a steampunk. It's in a steampunk kind of aesthetics, but your character gets a sword and a gun. But you have to remember to reload your gun, so you can't just go continuously blatting.
Is this on a 2D plane?
Yes.
Okay, so it's the 2D version of Bloodborne then.
Yeah, actually, it's not quite as dark as Bloodborne. The main protagonist has some very bright red hair, but I had a brief go on it. I quite enjoyed my time with it. Had a nice chat to the developers. Full disclosure, it's being published by a publishing company that I do work with through something else. It's not the company I work for, though. So.
All right.
But
5 degrees of Kevin Bacon.
yeah, that kind of stuff. But that's how I got to go on it the day before the show opened. So.
No, that's good then.
It's nice to be, all friends in the industry.
Yeah, exactly. So I had a short go on that. The other one that I had a short go on, I think most of the other ones I had goes on were sequels. So the first one was 30XX, the sequel to 20XX, unbelievably.
It's that Mega Man X style, kind of like platform shooter.
Yes, so this one, much more heavy Mega Man X influence. They've gone back to doing a pixel art style. They are... but the short demo I had, it only just got announced like a week before PAX, and it already feels so good. It feels a lot more control-wise solid than the previous game. And
I think I was hearing it way before PAX. I think I'm sure it was there was talk about it way before it, but
I can tell you
maybe
exactly
I'm hearing
when they
things.
announced it actually, because it will be the latest announcement on their Steam page. They announced it
I would have thought
February 13th.
Oh, well, there you go. Because it was about a month. I was going to say, I thought I heard about this about like a month ago. And it's like, yeah, it was a month
exactly
ago.
a month ago. So, yeah, the devs there were quite friendly to chat to. Very brief go on it, but the controls feel a lot more solid. I'm not a massive fan of the art style, but I can see why they've gone for it. It's going to be what all the fans want, so that's pretty good.
No, you gotta please the majority of people who will actually find appeal to that genre essentially, because
Exactly.
granted, with all game, like, even though gaming as a whole is a big kind of like market, there's still people who like their certain things, and some people are just not going to gravitate to certain gameplay kind of like genres as much as the other whatnot.
I think for them it's more, hey, we managed to get the really hardcore Mega Man fans in for the first one. Let's get the more casual ones in for this next one by making it look exactly like it, essentially. The last game I got to try was a game by a company many people will know called the Behemoth.
Oh, the old Newgrounds guys.
Yes.
Yeah, Castle Crashers.
Yes. Now, this was the first time they were showing this game off. I don't think they'd even announced it until just before PAX East, although sadly they also announced it for EGX Rest as well, as being the first place in the UK to play it, which, that got cancelled.
No longer happening.
Yeah, that was
For those of you who really don't know, EGX Res has been cancelled, E3 has been postponed, GDC has been postponed. Yeah.
Just assume anything that was happening within the next 3 months has been pushed back.
UK Games
Or
Expo has
cancelled.
been pushed back. Anyway, Game 5 is actually a sequel to one of their first games. It is called Alien Hominoid Invasion.
Oh.
Oh.
I was going to guess Alien Hominoid.
Yeah, same here.
Yes, it was.
It was one of their first titles, essentially.
Now, it's more of a reimagination of the original, but it plays slightly differently. You kind of get dumped into an area where you then have to do certain missions. Those missions can involve murdering enemies, collecting pickups, tagging or staying next to a human child to probe them, etc. Control-wise, it was very solid, although they had a arcade cabinet control system, so I'm not sure that's going to quite be the same at home. Their stand was beautiful, by the way. It was really nice. And yeah,
So I imagine it's still like quite simple, like can like a D-pad and like 2, maybe 3 buttons. Is it or?
no, it was proper arcade stick and buttons.
Oh, so all those
so-
fighting game enthusiasts will be fine then.
But I think that was just for their demos. I think it's because they made everything look like arcade machines, because they did the same for Castle Crashers, they did the same for the original Alien Hominid, which they had there as well.
I was gonna say with Castle Crashers it makes sense because of its multiplayer aesthetic
Exactly.
of being like arcadey.
It was very much
Multiplayer
like
stuff.
it was like the old like TMNT
Golden
beat 'em up,
Axe.
Yeah.
Warriors
Oh, yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
So those are the 3 games that I got some time to play, not including ones I was working on, because guess what, I had to play them a little bit.
You gotta showcase them there.
Yeah, it's the first time I've actually been to a PAX, so there were some other games that were cool. There was one game I wanted to go on and couldn't because they didn't ever open it before when they were supposed to open it, and that was the Enter the Gungeon House of the Gundead arcade cabinet.
Oh,
It's an arcade cabinet exclusive game, so it's
Yep, I've heard about this.
Yeah. They had it there, couldn't play it. Just they didn't open it before. They didn't open it during the times they were supposed to be opening it, like before the show opened. And yeah, the queue was massive, and I did not have time to wait. So sadly, I didn't even get to see the screen because it was so busy. So that's a shame.
There was a couple of games at PAX East that I would have loved to have seen more of, or see myself essentially. If I was there, there was a couple of games that had my interest that also have some special editions in the US. You lucky buggers! Limited run games. I hate them so much because they come out
yes,
with some of
I know
these
exactly
cool
which
shit.
stand you mean. Along with
Well,
Way
I'm
Forward.
talking about two games specifically. Being that of Streets of Rage 4.
Oh, yeah.
They have that going in, and their collected edition at Limited Run Games. I hate them so much because I want it, and I want it so bad, but they don't have it's obviously gonna cost me so much money to get it sent over into the UK.
Yes, but
and
give me a shout later. I might be able to sort something with you on that one.
Yeah, well, thank you. And the other one being Shantae and the Seven Sirens, which just got officially a date.
For the normal release, on standard consoles.
And of course it's got a limited run version of that.
Yeah, I don't
on
think
order.
either of those games were being sold at the event, to be fair.
Oh no. I know Way Forward at PAX they had some goodies.
Well, Way Forward
there.
are actually hosting limited run game stand. So
right.
it was all one stand. I don't know if they actually had Shantae and the Seven Sirens there to be playable.
I don't think they did. And if they did, it would be just part 1 of the Apple Arcade
Exactly, because that's already out.
version. Yeah.
Streets of Rage 4 was there. I was lucky enough that I actually got to play that at last year's EGX very, very briefly.
I could definitely say, based on the first trailer, the initial reveal trailer, compared to all the material that's been released now, it's definitely there's been much big differences with its style and gameplay and whatnot since that initial reveal. So, but I'm still being hopeful for how it's gonna play and feel like and whatnot.
I think it'll be fine. But yeah, that's. I mean, there's loads of other stuff that I could talk at PAX East. It's easily the biggest games convention I've been to. It's way bigger than anything like EGX in the UK, despite it now being owned by the same company, I believe. But yeah, it was a fascinating event. I managed to come out of it with not getting any kind of illness, which is fairly impressive. I didn't even get any con flu.
That's
but
good.
I've never got con flu somehow. So
Been lucky.
Yeah.
It's lucky and somewhat probably just my very large amount of resilience.
Yeah. I've been 50-50 myself.
There was one other game that I got a brief chance to play, but it wasn't a new game, and I only did it to get a T-shirt. So, and that was Final Fantasy XIV.
T-shirt.
They had a challenge to beat the new super boss in the game, which I'm not going to mention because Ian has not got that far yet.
Oh, I know what it is because you mentioned
secret.
it.
Well, I mean, it was in all the marketing material, so it's kind of hard to avoid, I guess.
Yes, I beat the ruby weapon and all I got was the Snazzy T-shirt Kupo.
Basically, yes. Anyway, so yeah, that was PAX East. It's the first PAX I've ever been to. I'll be interested to see how that continues in the future.
Aye. I look forward to if ever there's any more kind of like video game conferences that you go to down the line. We'll probably hear some more. But for this month in the way of like game releases and whatnot, there was only like 2 major releases that were overshadowing everyone else.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say there was actually 4 major releases plus.
Oh, there was 4 major releases.
5.
It's just 2 of them. It was just okay, then 5 then. But it was just 2 specifically this month that everyone was obviously
On the same
going
day.
on about.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, aye, on the same. Well, you say on the same day. Actually, one of them came out 2 days prior.
And that's
Well,
that was
Because of all this, because of all that's
Yes.
happening.
they officially came out on the same day.
Yes. Some places did release it early due to minimizing people.
Crowds,
Yeah.
crowdness and stuff.
I think you mean maximizing profits.
no. It was there was a couple of reasons for it, but part of it was to minimise the amount of people coming into a store at the same time. Although if you bought the PC version, you still had to wait till Friday to play it.
Oh yeah. All the people who were buying digital versions of these games obviously still had to wait until day off of those releases. So yeah, you were out of luck with.
Well,
on
I
that.
still got the actual physical because I bought a physical quote unquote version of the PC version, which came with the Steelbook.
You guys should actually mention what the game is because we've actually referred to it a lot, but we've not actually said what it is.
Yeah, well, we're getting to it. We're getting to it. Hold your horses. But no. Well, we'll get. Aye. So the games we're talking about, obviously, is Doom Eternal and Animal Crossing: New Horizons. Those both came out on the 20th, officially. But Doom Eternal, Bethesda gave the UK retailer Game the green light to release the game 2 days ahead of
Actually,
schedule.
they gave all UK retailers the approval for it, I believe.
All right, okay then. So all the UK retailers the green light to release the game 2 days early to avoid conjunction.
Congestion.
Like
Yeah.
yeah, congestion. Yeah, there we go. That's what my words they not work. So like for myself and Josh and whatnot, we got the game physically early.
Yeah, you say
with all
that. You
physical
open the
orders.
box, and it's a paper cutout of a disc with the code on top of it.
Okay, you see, that's your PC version. Me, obviously, I had the PS4 version, so I was able to play straight out, no problem, no questions asked, so long as I install a, I've forgotten how long it was. I think it was like a gig and a half.
A fairly chunky patch.
Gig and yeah, day one patch, as you
Yeah.
usually do with these games. It's always the case. And of course, if you want to see my kind of like viewpoint on the game, you can just rewatch my streams on it on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/TurboDrive Live, because I actually streamed the entire game from start to finish of doing the platinum trophy for that game over, what was it, 6 days of streaming.
I'm going to say that's kind of
So,
why I
yeah.
avoided your stream.
No, I can't blame you. Because you know some people just don't want to be spoiled on anything. So it's only fine. But nevertheless, and of course, in light of that kind of like thing, I do plan, and I don't know when I'm gonna be starting this down the line, but I'll announce it here on this podcast here that there will hopefully there'll be a new podcast as part of the Last Minute Continue feed of podcasts, where we'll start a new show called the Platinum Pursuits podcast. It'll be me talking about platinum trophies for games, and the first subject of that will be that of Doom Eternal. So obviously, we'll talk more about it in that aspect, in a future new show. But in terms of game, Josh, you have obviously been playing it.
So
how much have you done, and what's
So
your
I've
thoughts?
completed the game. I have mastered every weapon, gotten every secret. So pretty much 100%.
Good.
There's still a few back-end like unlockables and stuff, like completing the game on Ultra Nightmare, which is never going to happen.
No, definitely not. It's like, trust me, when I played it on Hurt Me Plenty, which is like the default difficulty that it highlights first time around, I was dying a lot. Like I was not working well.
Isn't Hurt Me Plenty like the equivalent of like hard on other games?
No, it is medium.
Is that medium?
Yeah, it's normal.
Ultra Violent is now hard. I think you're thinking original Doom here, where Hurt Me Plenty was the kind of medium hard mode.
Yeah, cause there was like a very easy.
Yeah,
like
it was.
medium.
It was. I'm too young to die.
Yeah.
Ouch, that hurts.
Hurt Me Plenty.
Ultraviolent and
I think
Nightmare.
there was one between Hurt Me Plenty and Ultra Violent. I'm not sure.
It's been a while since I last played.
I know it was 5
No, it's
difficulties.
6.
I know that.
I'm pretty
Was
sure
it
it's
6?
6 in the original.
Okay.
You've got me doubting it now. But yeah, so I actually played it all on Ultraviolent just because I played the previous one on Ultraviolent, and that was the difficulty I enjoyed the most. So I'm going to let you go first, Turbo. What were your thoughts on it?
I'll say that now I've also been seeing a lot of tweets from an indie developer that I know, Sam from Freakzone Games. He's been talking about it and whatnot, and some of the stuff that he's been talking about on social media, I kind of agree. The ammo pool to start you off in the game is very minuscule, and it like how in the original game, in like the 2016 version, where you had the chainsaw to use as a last resort, to get back any ammo that you've now depleted and whatnot from enemies and stuff like that. In this game, is way too heavily needed in gameplay. You have to use it every single time, and even though it regenerates, like it regens the one slot of
if you've
chainsaw.
used all your chainsaw, so you can hold 3 chainsaw ammo bulks basically.
Yeah.
If you use all 3, because bigger enemies take 3 to use it, and the biggest enemies now can't be chainsawed, you will recharge up to that first one, just because you no longer have a pistol type weapon with infinite ammo. So that is your only lifeline if you run out of ammo.
And I feel as though that just it kind of, it's like I'm not hating the game for that. I'm just disappointed.
So I'm
like,
definitely on the same level with you here. I feel the 2016 one did a better job.
Yeah, I think this Eternal, great for the hardcore fans, great for those people who love a challenge and love to be inundated with like demons to slaughter and be like these masters of evasion and weapon management and stuff like that. I'm not that gamer. I'm not your audience for that. I loved Doom 2016. I loved that game so much. I gave it my game of the year.
So did I, didn't I?
That year. Aye. So
you should know, you were with us.
But
I know, but I'm saying probably is the answer, because I think that was.
Yeah. And it just boggles the mind. It's like, I thought Eternal would be an equal to that thing, but it's not. It's slightly below.
Here's what my theory of it is. So the big thing is they've reduced all of the pools of stuff to force you to switching weapons and to use all the mechanics in the game. You know, use your flamethrower to get armor, use your grenades at regular intervals, that kind of stuff. And it's now a purposeful flow that they force you into, and including certain enemies can only be damaged particularly by certain weapons. So, one of the first bosses that is a regular enemy, you're basically told if you don't use the plasma rifle, you are going to have a bad time. And it just railroads you into going, you have to do it this way, or else you're going to suffer. And it just stopped. I think for me, the big thing is they've gone from 2016, where it was about play your way, play the game how you want to play it. We're just providing the enemies for you to shoot, etc. But we'll give you all these options. You have to work for some of those options, but they're there. Whereas the the Doom Eternal has basically gone, okay, well, we gave you that freedom, but it makes it harder for us to really make challenges. So now we're going to railroad you, and you have to use this setup, and you have to play the way we want you to play, and you have to like it. And that, for me, is the big problem.
No, I totally agree. I totally agree with that. Another aspect on that factor is that, hey, we got all this cool stuff we want you to use all of it. There's too much there to manage. Like, you got frag grenades, ice grenades, flamethrower, blood punches, all the weapons, so you got the plasma rifle, shotgun, super shotgun, assault rifle, chain gun, rocket launcher, and all of their mods. It is so much to remember. And granted, I'm on the spectrum, but even I can't remember that crap all together and whatnot. And you could see it in my playthroughs and whatnot. I would constantly forget that I had this, that, and the next thing in my arsenal, and I keep forgetting to use them because I'm too inundated and stressing in the fights.
Do you know what it reminds me of?
Go on.
Do you remember trying to get like a high score combo in the Batman Arkham games, like especially in the later ones?
Yes.
Yeah.
Where it's like, okay, so you got to use your Batarang, then you got to use the grapple to pull them in. You want to do a quick flip and a disarm combo, then jump over, hit him with a thing, put down some explosive, put that off, freeze grenade, throw that, the triple freeze grenade.
I
triple
hate
Batarang.
that.
I
hate that with the combat.
And that is exactly what this is like, where it's like you've got to get to do the best. You've got to be able to know all the combos, all the buttons, and switch through all of your weapons.
With one slight difference in the fact that this game forces you into it. It doesn't. It's not if you want to play the best, you have to do that. This one goes, if you don't do it, you are going to lose, especially on the harder difficulties. And the only real saving grace is the big thing, because you now have a much reduced health and armor pool. The one thing they've introduced is extra lives, which you can go back and farm, but it kind of just feels like that's their excuse of, oh, this is for people who aren't good enough. The big problem with Doom Eternal is it doesn't make you feel good about surviving stuff, whereas with 2016, once you managed to feel super powered, you felt good about just being able to wipe a room without really worrying about anything. With Doom Eternal, you're always on that stress precipice of, okay, I've got to keep moving, got to keep doing. And if you lose a life, it's shit. And it's not. And when you get through the encounter, it's finally it's over. It's Doom Eternal is very much a game where they've, as I said before, they've torn it down to its basically say you will play it the way we want you to play it, or else. The other thing someone else pointed out to me is that they've tried to go. 2016 kind of took a little bit of it in stride, so it let it play fun at itself a little bit. This new one takes itself very seriously. There's a couple of like nods and winks to the older series, but like there's massive codex entries for every enemy that give you hints on how you're supposed to kill them, and the storyline is taken very serious. It's
I mean, granted, there is just Doom Eternal is more. It's more lore, more references, more things, more ammo, more enemies, more things. It's just more upon more upon more, and it could just be over daunting.
And
really, and granted, I love it all. It's just,
all right, don't get me wrong.
Dial it back a bit.
I enjoyed the game. I definitely enjoyed the game. It's just not as good as the 2016 one. And the prime examples for it are, the first one is the Marauder, which is an enemy who you can only attack at certain points, and you can only use certain weapons to deal damage because you can only hit him once before he goes back into a defensive state. You can't use your super weapons on him. I did find there were some tricks you could do to shoot him with grenades, but it's an enemy that the game basically goes, you will fight it the way we want you to fight it, and that is the only way we'll let you do it. And that just...
And that is... Yeah, it ties your hands.
It stops you having the freedom the original game was, where you go, okay, you've done this challenge to earn a ruin. The ruins are still in the game, but they're much less powerful than they were in the original. In the original, it's like, here's a ruin. If you master it, you can have unlimited ammo as long as you stay healthy.
Yeah.
And you felt really good about keeping that up. This one doesn't have anything like that. It's always trying to make you feel like you're in danger.
Yeah. I mean, many people are probably saying, "Oh, but you got the cheats that you can find in the game." It's like, yeah, but they're only good when after you've beaten a level. They're only usable
doesn't help with progression.
In replay. Yeah, it doesn't help for the current situation that you're going through. It's not like you can find the unlock. You can find the cheat code that gives you unlimited ammo and then use that to beat the rest of the game. No, you can't do that.
Also, I find it slightly funny that one of the other changes they've done with this game is they've redesigned some of the monsters to be closer to the original appearance in most cases, and introduced some more that were introduced in Doom 2, like the Arachnotron, the Pain Elemental, Archvile, which, ironically enough, the Archvile, which is one of the most pain in the butt enemies from Doom 2, not so bad in this one.
Yep.
Not compared to the Marauder or the Doom Hunter.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say those newer enemies were more a pain than the old enemies from the original game. So.
Like, the problem is, like, the newer ones they introduced, the Marauder is a pain, the Doom Hunter is a pain. The one with 2 blades on its arms was just meh. The snake ones were just annoying.
The whiplashes.
They've redesigned the Baron of Hells to now have blades on their arms. It's like, that one was in the 2016 one as they were in the original, which is a bit odd. And the Cyber Demon from the original games has been named in this one, because we've already technically have a Cyber Demon in this canon, to just be called the Tyrant.
He's not wearing a fedora and a trench coat or any bin bags.
True, but it is just a renamed Cyber Demon from the original game. They are just, and the thing is, the tool tip on them of how to beat them is shoot him.
Shoot it until it dies. That's the only and it's a throwback to how it was back in the day, where with the original Cyber Demon, it's just shoot it until it dies.
You kind of do that with the one in 2016 one as well.
Yeah, indeed.
But,
yeah.
I mean, is it a bad game? No, not at all. It's still a good game. I still enjoyed it. It just doesn't feel as good as the 2016 one. Will it make my top 5 games of the year? Probably, to be quite frank. But yeah, it's good. It's not amazing.
Yeah, we still got 9 months left of the year. I think we might have something to contend with.
I don't think it's going to be my number 1. I think I'm already going to have a game that's going to beat it.
No, I think that'll be that's gotta be true on that. Although I'll tell you one thing, the helmet in the collector's edition is awesome.
I couldn't afford that edition. Oh, on a side note, thank you to my postman who actually opened the package up so that he could fit it through my postbox, because in its original state it wouldn't have fit in. So he opened it up and put all the components in my mailbox separately so it would fit in.
That's
Well,
weird.
it's because
yeah,
the postal collection service isn't accepting people anymore. So if I'd had to have waited for months to get it.
Yeah,
And I
Of
think
course,
he
makes
recognised
sense.
when it's got game on the front of the box, it's something I probably want before a couple of months.
Yeah.
Yeah. At least he had the foresight of doing that for you, so that's good.
Good postmen tend to be a little bit more smart about what they do.
Yeah, I was gonna say good postman, not ones that just go by and just do it willy nilly and just follow the rules and whatnot. Anyway, so with all that Doomage there, I don't know if John or Ian, you've not played it at all.
No, not touched.
No,
Doom, not yet.
Yeah, but have you played the new other release that came out?
Animal Crossing. I know it's on my to buy list, but unfortunately, I have a game list as long as my arm at the minute, and I kind of don't
Yeah,
want to
it's
have
on my-
the time sink of Animal Crossing coupled with everything else that's happening at the minute. Cause,
No, yeah. So you're a busy one at the moment, aren't you?
Yeah, I've got tons of stuff, and actually, potential contender for Game of the Year for me is coming out in a couple of days, and that is Persona 5 Royal.
I mean, that's slightly cheating because that's a re-release, really.
Nah, it's fine.
It's fine.
Well, it's in the same vein as Persona 4 Golden, where it introduces a new character and it has some new scenarios and stuff like that.
True. They've also
yeah.
updated the script as well to iron out some of the problems that the original one had. So it's gonna.
Yeah, I've been seeing some news reports on that one.
I've been so tempted to get it, and then I keep going, do I really want to play through Persona 5 again already? And unfortunately,
Yes.
my answer is no. I feel it's too soon for me to replay it again.
Understandable. Persona's one of those game series where sort of you either sort of get into it and then you sort of have a little break and then you get into it. And because I've not touched it for a good while, so I think it's nice to sort of dive back into it and see where everything is. But
I think I just need a
that's-
bit more time. I think like in a year's time, I might be ready for it. But right now, there's another big JRPG looming in 2 weeks' time that I'm also
True.
like.
True, but that one's going. That's
Well,
on my
next month's gonna be good.
yeah. Well,
then.
that's on my to get at some point in the near future list because, much as I love Final Fantasy, seven's kind of an. I feel ambivalent towards it. I can understand that seven's a sort of really good story, really well structured and such, but there's parts of it that I just feel it's not me.
Well, I'd say they've changed a lot, so who knows? Maybe they'll line
I
it
would
all
still
out.
definitely try the demo out.
Oh yeah, I would certainly agree as well. I've tried the demo and see if the new gameplay style suits you. But in all honesty, I'd probably want to wait until Part 2 gets released.
You might be waiting for a
What
while
about
then.
Part 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12?
Well, I've played through many years of Kingdom Hearts. I think I can wait through that.
Fair.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of in the same boat that I don't think I'll get it on launch, just because I've got too much stuff to do and I've already got too many games to play. I'm looking forward to seeing what Final Fantasy VII, the new Final Fantasy will be, but I think I'm actually going to wait till it goes on sale before I jump in.
Anything else? The rest of you guys have played.
Shadowfox, have you played the new Microsoft game that came out?
I'm gonna ask you which one that is.
Yeah, there were
It's
two
probably
big
gonna
ones,
be
wasn't there?
Oh yeah.
Well, I've kind of not been paying too much
Okay,
attention to
it's
releases
not
this month.
Bleeding
What was
Edge, which came out
No,
this week.
I've been seeing a lot of Bleeding Edge, but I've not actually looked at it. I have no idea
The
what it
other
is.
one is Ori and the Will of the Wisp.
On my list of things to buy.
Yeah,
yes,
same here.
That was the recent. No, I mean this month, honestly, it's been new coats of paint on old things. Destiny had its new update a couple of weeks back, which guess what is more Destiny. Some new fun things, new problem things. But it's still just Destiny. So
Stick with what you know.
Indeed.
I mean, like it's like I said before. Destiny's like this baseline of just solid, good game. Some of the and there are some nice frills on it, and some of the frills are a bit tatty. But all in all, the thing itself is completely solid, so I don't mind just going back to that every so often.
The other one I think a lot of people have forgotten is Neo 2.
Neo 2, yeah. that did fly under the radar on a lot of people who love their Souls games. You know, Neo was a nice alternative to done by Team
was
Ninja.
well received.
Oh yes, Neo, not Neo.
NIOH as opposed to NEO.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I've still yet to play the
confused for a
original, so
second.
the original one's got to come first for me.
Yeah, I've got the original.
Yeah,
Actually, no, you can play the second game because it's a prequel to the.
I know, but I'd
version.
like to play the first one first. Is all I mean. I'd like to play the first one and experience it.
I've got it on PS Plus, so that's again another thing on the.
Oh god,
the
yeah, I
playlist.
do have it. So, I think I have it on PC as well.
I think my Xbox Ultimate's running out or run out, so I think I'll have to double check see if there's anything worth on that because I was playing Monster Hunter on that, but then I bought Monster Hunter on Steam during the sale, so I played a bit of that again.
I'm tempted to get that as well, but I don't have the time commitment. I've already got one MMO I'm playing.
Yeah, well, it's not really MMO, but it is just a
requires
pure
as
grind
much
fest though.
dedication.
It's the game is not an MMO; it's a grind game, which a lot of MMOs are, but still. And I say the other things I've been playing again, like Ark Survival Evolved had a update as well, new map Genesis, which is more of a PvE map. It's like there's a map with 5 different zones, and then you have to in each of the zones there are missions. So there's like races, there's tracking missions, there's collection missions, there's battle arena missions. There's just so while you've got all these dinosaurs running around, and players trying to kill you, you're trying to do these things. Of course, it was busted as hell, and had to go and has gone through so many patches. Like they accidentally removed entire saddles from dinos that you could unlock so leaving them entirely worthless. And some of the missions were physically impossible to do because of the time limits they gave you.
Kind of reminds me of the whole Bobby Pin situation with Fallout 76.
Oh yeah, no. Wildcard have nothing on Bethesda. Like Bethesda mess up, but they have lots of money. Wildcard are greedy and mess up still. But other than that, Stellaris had an update as well. Federations no longer has endgame lag, or as much as it did, which is a fantastic news because that was the biggest problem. Was that by the time you got 200 years into the game, it would start lagging every day that would tick by would just be painful. And,
I don't talk to me about lag. I just recently finished up Halo Combat Evolved on my Let's Play streams, and the last couple of levels, I had to deal with some really bad Xbox original lag.
Yeah, those ones are really
going through the
problem
emulation.
is they're pushing really for everyone to be getting an X.
Well, no, that was just me playing through on the emulation through the 360.
Oh, I
so,
see. Oh,
yeah.
That's a different problem, actually, to be fair.
Yeah.
So. I've got to play through that I'm playing that on PC, so hopefully it'll be a little
Master
bit more.
Chief Collection.
MCC. It's then we've got Halo 2 coming out, which is arguably the Xbox Live's savior, because
it's the game that launched Xbox Live.
To be fair,
even though it wasn't officially, it was.
To be fair, it was the game that set the standard for what a live service should be.
It was, because back on the Xbox there was no friends list. It was all done in each game individually. But Halo 2 is pretty much what Xbox Live is now.
And to be fair, PlayStation had to take lessons from it, and Steam to a certain extent.
Yep. Blizzard, Activision Blizzard, their service is still behind with weird. The fact that you can the friends lists are regional, that's dumb. Games are regional, servers are regional, that's dumb.
Well, servers makes more sense for the type of games they make. To be fair.
Yeah, but it means that it's you have to physically switch. I can't, if I want to play Overwatch with someone in America,
yeah,
I have to switch my server and
for
have
something
a different
like
friends list
Overwatch. I agree.
That's
that
dumb.
should not be the case.
That shouldn't be the case.
For something like WoW, it makes more sense.
I mean, maybe still I don't touch Activision anymore, so I'm fine with that. And then obviously Nintendo is
Nintendo. They keep going along at their own pace. They don't really care what anyone else thinks. And yeah, I'm a fan of Nintendo. But yeah, their online services are kind of bad.
Yeah, they're in their own. They're playing in their own pool, and it's fine. They can do what they want, and they're doing it very well.
People just throw money at them anyway.
Yeah, but their online services have always been like generations behind.
I remember when I had the DS, I had to get a separate dongle to actually do online play for it because it was all done through the GameSpy stuff, and of course with that going under and such, DS Wi-Fi compatibility over the internet completely dead.
But, you know, getting everything else, getting it all like 95% right as a company, that's not bad.
Yeah, true.
So there's one other new game that I've played this month. It only came out in the last week. It came out Thursday, I think, actually. But it's a free-to-play mobile game. It also has a stupidly long title.
I think I know what this is.
It is called War of the Visions Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. To put it simply, it is a kind of semi-sequel of two different games mashed together. It's a sequel to the original Final Fantasy Tactics, and a sequel to Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, which is a mobile game, smashed into one. So it still has the grid-based strategic combat of Final Fantasy Tactics. There's some really nice improvements they've done into the system, which is really good. Unfortunately, it's also got the free-to-play systems of Brave Exvius, and they are horrible, to put it nicely. It is... You think MMO grinding is bad, you don't know anything yet. There are 4 different ways you can level up your characters. 5, different ways you can level up your characters. 4 of them require you to get resources, which you can either grind for or pay money for. I love the art. The art style in the game is really nice. The music's quite nice, but I don't think I'm going to be playing with it too much because it is just requires you to put so much time and energy and grinding into it. I've already got another Final Fantasy mobile game which I think is much better that I play. So, it's an interesting one. I'm going to say if you are a big fan of Final Fantasy Tactics, give it a go. Don't put any money into it. It is a massive money sink. Excuse me.
It sounds very much like Fire Emblem Heroes.
It's almost the identical kind of model. The combat is a little bit different because the tactics combat is very different. They've got a really nice little element wheel that they show whenever you're attacking, which you will probably be quite familiar with because it's exactly the same as the Magicites in Final Fantasy Record Keeper.
Yay!
It's the same kind of circle of elements. But yeah, that's another new one I played. If you want to try it, it's definitely worth trying it this week while they've got free bonus stuff that gets you started easier. But yeah, also I don't like the fact that they give you a free gift character to start with a starting collab they're doing with Final Fantasy XIV, and the character is really weak, and they require you to pay something in the region of like 25 quid just to get her to a point where she's usable with the rest of the team.
Jeez.
Like, no, I don't have that kind of money to throw around. But yeah, I think that's it for games I've actually played this month.
Well, with that all said, I feel as though we should wrap things up for this month's LMC cast. So thanks very much for listening to this. If you were listening to this via the various methods, either on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or anywhere else, or if you were listening this via Radio Sega, thank you for tuning in. By all means, if you're interested to keep up to date with the LMC cast, do give us a follow via the streaming services that you listen this to, or just whatever.
Or download it.
Or download it, yeah, that's fine. That's good too. And by all means, follow us or follow the Last Minute Continue as a whole via Twitter at Last Minute Continue to keep up to date with everything Last Minute Continue related, as well as checking us all out individually. Of course, you can find me on Twitter at TurboXLR, as well as my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/TurboDriveLive. Josh, where can they find you?
At Rebellion, I guess. I don't give out my personal one. If you want to know what I'm working on, follow my company.
Yeah, aye. Best yet, aye. Just follow Rebellion's Twitter. You know Rebellion's socials, then. So what's that?
Just at Rebellion. At Rebellion.
At Rebellion. There you go. On Twitter.
Very simple.
Yeah, there you
Very
go. Simple. And Shadowfox, John, yourself.
Yeah, I'll say I don't do that much. The best place to find anything I'm working on would be with the LMC in general. So I just hit up their Discord or their Twitter, and you'll probably see me there.
Indeed.
Yep.
Same.
Speaking of the Discord, just join the Discord. A Last Minute Continue Discord. It's easy enough to find. And Random Genius Ian.
Yeah, pretty much the same as Shadowfox. Anything that I'm sort of going to be doing will be announced primarily through the LMC channels. Particularly the ongoing saga of Bart's and Co. in the Final Fantasy V playthrough that I'm currently.
How much more of that have we got to go?
You've still got a lot to go.
I know.
Just got...
You really crunched that near the end.
And you can check that out on the Last Minute Continue YouTube channel, youtube.com/Last
And
Minute
I believe
Continue.
we have some more goodies from yourself coming out soon as well.
Oh, yes, there's plenty more coming from me. So, like I said, obviously there's going to be some stuff on the YouTube channel, some on the podcast feed as well. So keep your eyes and ears out for all of that. But for now, we'll wrap this up. This has been the month of March 2020 for the Last Minute Continue cast here on lastminutecontinue.com or Apple Podcasts or wherever you're listening to this. Hope you enjoy yourselves. Please be safe during these tough times. Hopefully things will get better next month. We'll find out in the month of April. And by all means, enjoy Easter when it comes around, because that's obviously the next big holiday for a lot of us. So celebrate with a lot of chocolate.
I actually forgot that was coming up.
Couple of weeks.
Yeah, a couple of weeks.
Yeah, a couple of weeks.
And we'll probably reminisce it next month. But anyway, for now, I've been John Turbo Finlay. This has been the Last Minute Continue cast for the month of March 2020. Have yourselves a good one. Take care. See you later.
Goodbye.
Bye.